Hey everyone, welcome to Taqueando. I'm your host Bill Esparza, and this week I'm joined once again by my producer Rob.
Hey Bill, good to be back again.
Great to have you back. And this week we have a special episode that's a little different than what we normally do. Is otro taco.
Yeah, Bill, I don't know if you're aware, a couple weeks ago there was a pretty big football game going on the TV.
Well, I do not follow football. I don't know any of the names of the players. I don't anymore. I don't really care. But I did tune in to Bad Bunny Bowl, and that was something that I've been following ever since I heard he was going to be on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be there for this.
Okay, so you got the important part. Any thoughts on the halftime show, Bill?
Yeah, my thoughts are, I was not a Bad Bunny listener, and I listen to different music, and it never really resonated with me. But ever since all this chaos has been unleashed by Trump and the ICE raids, and Bad Bunny has come to the forefront, not just as a music artist, but I think as an activist and using his platform. I mean, he did this grand statement by not performing in the U.S. due to what's going on here. He performed. He did a residency in Puerto Rico. He went to Mexico. He's going to Latin America, and he's like, I don't need to go to the United States. Meanwhile, the NFL, because the NFL is smart and they understand the buying power of Latinos in the United States, got the biggest global artist right now on the stage, and he absolutely killed it. um, he made a wonderful performance, and I would say that it delivered beyond my expectations. I expected okay, I'm going to hear his music, and I know there's going to be guest artists. All the guest artists were incredible. Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, who I've loved for a long time. Uh, all the cultural references, all the food, the tacos, the piraguas, the agua de coco, the symbolism and the dominoes, the tribute to reggaeton. You know, I know we were all hoping for Daddy Yankee to lose his religion and come back for this show, but it was really nice seeing that little segment of honoring all the artists that came before him. I think Bad Bunny is a very thoughtful man. He definitely knows culture. He definitely knows how to put on a great show, and I did tear up a little bit, and I probably saw it. Probably, I don't know. I've seen it 20 times now.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more, man. I think I came at it from the same angle. Like, it was not, he was not a musician I listened to, but that being said, I understood that the backlash was just so nonsensical. He's the biggest artist in the world right now. So why would you not book him for the Super Bowl? That being said, I genuinely enjoyed the show, even as not as someone as a fan. I think there was so much in there that you could appreciate from an artistic level, whether it was from the sets, the costumes, the just genuinely world building that they did. That being said, I also think politically, like the message being unity, like I'm not Hispanic myself, but to have an invitation to be part of something bigger, I felt that that's really the only type of messaging that's going to get us out of this time and this administration and this period. So I couldn't have loved him more. I really think he did a great job. So I think we're in the same boat when it comes to that. Unity is a great thing, you know. In the spirit of unity, there's a certain LA taquero that was in the show who we won't mention today because it's about unity today, Bill. It's about unity.
Hey, you know what? I see what you tried to do there, buddy. I see what you tried to do. No, it wasn't about food. It was about representation. So this whole show was about representing the Mexican community. Even you saw the videos of people on their couches when their country was shouted out: Paraguay, El Salvador. How the with the Puerto Rican accent, all the shouts, even the Canadians got their shout out, so like everybody was represented. So this show wasn't about, it was about representation, and of course Puerto Rican culture was at the center of it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. So we're feeling good in light of all this stuff. This week we decided we're gonna have two very special guests. Later we're gonna be joined by Patti Rodriguez. Patti's a friend of yours, Bill. What made you decide to reach out to her for this episode?
Well, Patti is the co-owner of and founder of Little Libros, which does children's books for Latinos, for the Latino community, and she's got a wonderful story of where she went out and she faced racism and rejection because big publishers were telling her that our kids don't read. They're not interested in books and they don't need to have representation in children's books. So she self-published and has gone on to have a huge success. Now she's an incredible entrepreneur, but more than that, Patti is an activist. She's an online personality that always supports the right causes. If you want to find the barometer of for the way you should be feeling about how things are going on in the world, Patti is one of those people to follow. And I think there's no better person to talk that I know about what Bad Bunny and Bad Bunny Bowl means to the Latino community, and to Los Angeles.
Before we get to that interview, you spoke with Otessa Rodriguez, no relation. She's the co-owner of LA's newest Puerto Rican spot, Taínos LA. What made you reach out to her for this episode?
Well, I've known Odessa and her family, when they were just a ghost kitchen, and they just recently moved to Woodland Hills and opened their first brick and mortar. I'm a big fan of Puerto Rican cuisine, so the when I tried their food for the first time and wrote about it for Eater LA, I fell in love with their food. And so I'm super excited about the brick and mortar. I love Puerto Rican cuisine. I've been to the island. I've eaten at the kioscos, and Taínos LA is a wonderful place to experience that kiosco cuisine and the real Puerto Riqueño flavor here in Los Angeles. And I just love what they're doing.
Cool. Well, I'm excited. Can't wait to dig into it.
Okay, so without further ado, vamos a taquear. Hey everyone, welcome to Taqueando. I'm your host, Bill Esparza, and this week we are heading to the Cultural Republic of Woodland Hills to have some great Puerto Rican food and conversation with Chef Odessa Rodriguez of Taínos LA. Welcome to the show, Odessa.
Hi, Bill. Thank you for having me.
I'm a longtime fan, of course. Um, I loved when did I come see you and write about you? I want to say I know you were in a ghost kitchen, and then was it still kind of funny pandemic stuff going on? I don't remember.
No, it was basically a year after everything was open, and you actually were like the first to discover us because you came 2 weeks after we opened.
2 weeks.
Not a 2 weeks, not a month, not a year, 2 weeks. And then you guys released the article in February and it went crazy.
Yeah, and that's on Eater. So if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, I mean, Puerto Rican food is something I've always been looking for in Los Angeles. I know we are not like New York or Miami, and of course not Puerto Rico, which I've been once. I shared that with you, and we talked all about kioscos, and we're going to get into that. But first, I want to talk about you just opened your brick and mortar. So I'm catching you now. What? How long have you been open?
Last Thursday, a week.
Last Thursday. And see, I had totally, at one point you said you guys were going to do it. You're looking, and I just kind of put it on the back burner. I figured you'd reach out when you were, and then all of a sudden I just saw. I'm like, I'm going to check in, and oh my gosh, they just opened. So here I am again, catching you within the first couple of weeks.
Lucky you. Always you catch us at the right time.
Super lucky me, and I'm coming there Thursday,
Please.
tomorrow, and so let's talk about your new restaurant. Now, is the menu any different? Did you expand the menu?
First, I want to be clear. Sorry, the title of the chef is my tío, Edwin Torres. All of the delicious food that you all eat comes from his hands, his heart. He's my partner. He's my everything. So, kudos to him for making this delicious food with all these years of wonderful experience. I just wanted to make that clear because I could
Yeah.
at home very good, but in the kitchen with that rush,
No, he's the man.
he is the man. And let's always recognize that Chef Edwin, is absolutely amazing at what he does. We're talking about 30 years of experience plus,
Yeah.
and he
I remember.
yeah.
I remember he had restaurant experience in Puerto Rico. He worked at some of the hot spots,
Yeah.
and then came over specifically to help you open Tainos LA, well, for as a partner.
Yes. Yes. He helped me with everything. And thanks to him, thanks to his mofongo, his pernil, his alcapurrias, everything has been hitting really well. And we're super excited about this journey. It's a dream of ours that we had since we started the Ghost Kitchen and to expand, especially to Woodland Hills, not too far from where we was. It's a dream come true. It really is.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you, and I'm so we've been so we've had a little, bump from Dominican cuisine, Chef Ilonka, who I've been following for a long time. I went when she was in the back of a little market
Amazing
in
food, amazing
Palms.
friend.
Yeah, amazing, and she bounced around, and she finally got a truck and now has a brick and mortar, so
Yes.
Caribbean cuisine. We have El Bacano, which is, doing great
Heard
and get a lot
great
of
things about
recognition.
it as well.
Yeah, and then you kind of well, when I wrote about you, we had sort of acknowledged that several Puerto Rican, restaurants had closed, and not because of the food or anything like
Right.
that, just because restaurants close, and when you
Right.
only have a handful of restaurants to represent the cuisine and if you
Correct.
go down, that's a big impact, right?
Correct. And we're all important, Um, it's not a competition. A lot of people think that one should be better than the other, and everyone is doing their job in fulfilling the name of Puerto Rico in Los Angeles. One
Yeah.
is doing it in this area, I'm doing it in this area, the other one is doing we're all brothers and sisters working on the same mission. Literally, if you talk to each and every one of us, we have the same mission. It's to bring Caribbean food here because California has its likes, but it needs a little bit more variety. And I feel like
Y
Caribbean people can
yeah,
do that.
you're 100% right. Um, yeah, and so the very few and mighty, and I agree with you, the whole thing about best all the time is so boring. We hear it so much these days on social media. This one's the best, and these all these places are great
Go to
and
where
for
you like
different
the most.
things.
Go to where you like the most, where
Right.
you enjoy the most. Yeah.
And when you're in that part of town, you go to this one, and when you're in, so I've been waiting for you, and you guys showed up, you
Thank
and
you.
El Tio, and bringing the LA version of Puerto Rican cuisine. Do you have new dishes to share at your new spot?
We do. We added a chillo frito just to give a nice beach touch, which added more seafood because in the ghost kitchen we couldn't just have serving seafood for takeout.
Right.
Um,
Can you tell everybody what that dish is so they can?
Absolutely. So we make a delicious gazpacho, which is bacalao salad with avocado inside and some plantain chips. We also serve an octopus salad, una ensalada de bacalao riquísimo. Riquísimo. A lo mejor no hay para nadie porque yo me lo estoy comiendo allá atrás. Porque la ensalada de bacalao, very delicious. Of course, we had the shrimps. We serve it in different ways. And then we added the chillo frito.
And the chio frito is,
It's the red snapper.
and the red snapper.
Red snapper, and
Okay.
I just gotta connect for, um, I forgot what they called it, huachango or something like that. It has a very
Huachinango?
huachinango, yeah,
Yeah.
the huachinango fish with the yellow eyes, and one of my clients came and told me his father was a fisherman, he can get the fish for me, so I'm trying to get that fish
Ooh,
over here
okay.
to have real Puerto Rican fish.
Yeah, so you're really bringing the full kiosko, flavor, with the seafood because I just want that's the thing I do remember about the kiosko is there's lots of seafood dishes too. Now I wanna, obviously the greatest, the most expansive Puerto Rican scene in the United States is in New York. Can you tell me how, you know, uh the Puerto Rican cuisine of New York is different from Puerto Rico?
Um, I wouldn't say it's as different because you have authentic Puerto Ricans that are cooking authentic Puerto Rican food in New York. Now, I
Right,
just feel that just as in Puerto Rico, a lot of people that are not from Puerto Rico don't know this. People cook many different ways. My
right.
grandmother is a New Yorican. So when we lived in Puerto Rico, she had her style. And my second grandmother, the woman across the street, may she rest in peace, Magda, she was a country woman. She would put her recao whole, her all her cilantro, everything whole. Wouldn't chop it up, wouldn't do anything. And it was they both were delicious, just very different deliciousness, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a
Yeah, that does.
grandmother and an uncle that cooks very good, but both in their own ways. So a lot of people cook very different ways. So I feel like New York definitely has like their own style because wherever you go, you work with the produce and the products that you can get from that particular.
Sure, which does change the cuisine.
What changes the cuisine? And then you have to try to, like me, for example, finding green bananas. It took me a year and a half to find green bananas with no gas. And that
Right,
changes. If you find it with gas, it changes your recipe completely. Your capurias are not going to taste the same because then your banana gets ripened quickly. So
right.
I feel like the food from New York is very delicious. Again, they have their own way of doing things. Does it make it less or more? Um, but it's all good. I've been to very delicious Puerto Rican places in New York. Very delicious.
It's amazing over there. I did, spend a lot of time in the Dominican neighborhood last time I was there. I spent a day,
Good
and
for you.
it was a long time because I just wandered for 4 hours and
Fun.
nibbled on this and that, and it was, I still have yet to get to the Puerto Rican neighborhoods of New York but I've had it in Puerto Rico, and I went to the kioscos, Luquillo, Los Pinos.
Good.
So tell me, where are your favorite kioscos in Puerto Rico?
My absolute favorite kyoko is actually up to where you mentioned. It's in Rio Grande. It's called El Verde. It's right in the corner. They make arroz empastelado. You go and they have all your chicharrón, your pollo, your amarillos, your piononos, your bacalaitos. I mean everything. Every time I go to Puerto Rico, I I
All the frituras.
I feast. And it's you have Rio Grande, and then right up the street you have Luquillo.
Oh wow.
So it's right
Okay.
before you get to Luquillo. You see it to the right.
Okay, so that's a good tip because everybody goes to Luquillo. That's the most famous one.
And then for breakfast though,
Yeah.
because I'm from Trujillo Alto, I like to go to Venum Garden to El Punto, a cafe called Punto. They have the best bread, the best sandwiches. I go in there and buy a malta, an iced tea, a coffee. I just have a little bit of it, all colony, de uva, una mal, todo, y me lo voy probando poquito a poquito. I don't even finish all of them, but it's so delicious. They have the best
It
food.
is absolutely delicious, right? So what are the five dishes? Well, of course they got to get frituras, but what are like five dishes people need to get if they go to uh your kiosco or the ones in Luquillo?
So for example, for me and Taínos, for us here, people want their alcaburrias. Don't
Right,
play with their alcaburrias. If you don't have an alcaburria for them, I might have serious issues with people.
right.
So that
That's we're gonna judge that, right?
yes, and a good thing is as well, our alcaburrias are made of guineo, masa de yautía de guineo, not of
Yeah,
yuca. Not saying that the yuca ones aren't good. I'm not saying that they're absolutely delicious.
right. This is
We
your
keep it
preference.
original because in reality, you don't find these every year. You find only the yuca ones. And we're going to
Right.
start filling them with pernil soon and certain types of steaks and just getting creative with the alcaburrias too because it needs some variety for sure.
Amazing. Okay, so you gotta get that, and then
Alcaburrias, the pernil arroz con gandules for sure.
and
Um,
what is that dish for the
Pernil
listeners?
is the staple of a Puerto Rican home. Pernil is slow roasted pork, 4 hours, Tio's seasonings. Everybody seasons their pernil differently, but Tio's pernil tastes like lechonera pernil. Like if you went to Cagua and you picked up a lechon from Cagua Grande, it tastes literally just like that. But arroz con gandules pernil is your staple, is what people, that's where they come to judge. They say, I came to try you. Let me get a pernil and arroz con gandules. I already know what they're doing. I already know they're judging me because if I don't pass the very simple pernil and arroz con gandules test, to my Puerto Rican family, they say nothing else is going to be good if you can't make that right, which is a very
Right.
simple dish, right? But could be
Yeah.
complicated. Could be
And
complicated.
for the listeners, arroz con panules is rice with peas.
Right. Let's get it clear. Let me say it for you. It's Puerto Rican rice, not because it was made from Puerto Ricans. It's because
Yeah.
gandules is only grown in Puerto Rico. Gandules is the bean, so it's basically like a lentil on steroids. It's just a really
It's a lentil on
big,
steroids.
big. Like it looks like a lentil, and it's built like one, but it's not a lentil. It's called gandules, and it's a very delicious bean that is grown only in Puerto Rico.
It is amazing.
Delicious.
So you're getting that with your roasted pork,
What you
and
roasted.
then what's the other three dishes they have to get?
We added so the other dishes that they have to get their mofongo. A lot of people that, they want their mofongo, so they'll get their mofongo, pernil, arroz con gandules. Those
Okay.
three.
I like my mofongo con hueyes.
Mm. You know what? I'm trying to get those huellas too, but those are a little bit too expensive than what because the huellas in Puerto Rico, they're it's like a whey made out of toro. They're so tender and their claws. I don't know if you ever noticed, but the crabs over there don't have regular claws. Their claws, they call them palancas. They're huge,
Right. And
huge,
it makes a big difference. You need that crab. You need that crab.
and it's so buttery. I mean, you can eat it. We used to go to Puerto Rico as kids, go drink at the river. I had a friend, que era atrevido. He'll catch the crabs, you boil them because you bring a pot, start a little fire, boil them. You don't even need salt. You don't need seasonings. Just eating crabs right by the water. They're phenomenal.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah. Well, you call me when you get the hueyes.
Yes, I will. I promise you. And definitely will announce that. I'll try to make like alcapuras and empanadillas with that.
Llama, llama a este güey.
Este güey. Yo te llamo, güey. No te preocupes.
Órale. So okay, now those are three great kiosco dishes, but when you're back home in Trujillo Alto, where you're from, which is very close to San Juan, what are a couple of things you like to get when you're there? Doesn't have to be it can be something simple.
My must-haves, believe it or not, the first thing I do when I get there, you're gonna call me crazy, but it's church chicken.
Church's chicken.
In Puerto Rico, it's different. I promise.
Okay, tell
All
me how
the,
church. Oh my God, churches! So they have a church's chicken branch, and of
listen,
course it's
listen. Do you understand that the McDonald's over there sells pan sobao with real eggs? I don't think you
no.
understand. You can. I don't go and get pan sobao and real eggs over there, but that's how they do it. So the church chicken over there is real chicken, and I love chicken sandwiches. Something so simple, but I love it. But the
Yeah.
church chicken sandwich with the honey biscuits and the fries and don't play with me. That is I'm there. And whoever comes to
Okay.
Puerto Rico needs to bring me the bread, the meat, the lettuce separate, and the honey biscuits. And when they get home, I throw it in the oven and I have me my sandwich.
Okay, you actually have people take Church's chicken from Puerto Rico on the plane.
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay,
then once I get that out the way, already in the
okay,
afternoon, I need to have my alcapurrias. I definitely need to have a mofongo. When you come out from going out, 4 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna eat the best mofongos in Santurce, but you gotta find them. You gotta know who's there
okay. So tell us.
because it's usually like a Dominican in like this kitchen, like by himself, and then just 100 people outside eating from this guy. He's serving churrasco and mofongo, and it's just small little kioscos that sometimes last a long time, sometimes don't. Some of them are cafes, but they're all definitely in Santurce because they're open late night. Absolutely delicious.
Okay,
The one that comes to my mind right now is Lupino. I don't know if they're still open. I haven't been around there
yeah,
for a while, but you can definitely find some really delicious food. Oh, and
okay.
truck.
Look for the Dominican woman and 100 people outside.
No, yes, and there's a truck too. So they sell these sandwiches called the chimi sandwich or the tripleta sandwich. Have you tried that before?
Yeah, yeah.
So you
Yes,
can
we know
find
those.
those at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because those are tripleta time, eating, and it's steak,
Okay,
and
tri-
pork, and chicken.
tripletas. Tripletas are your after 2 a.m. foods.
After 2 a.m. foods are for like you a kid, you eat it for lunch, but like I'm not stuffing my face with a tripleta during the daytime where I have to work. It's just too heavy for me, you know?
No, you're gonna do it before you go to bed.
Oh my God, definitely. I'm gonna have to do it before I go to bed so I could just go right to bed for sure.
Nice.
But it's
Okay.
we're big on sandwiches in Puerto Rico. If you're in Puerto Rico, you like for breakfast, we're not big on pancakes and French toast and none of that stuff. If you go to a
Right.
place in Puerto Rico in the morning, they're gonna make you avena or crema, which is harina de maíz or farina,
Yeah.
or sandwiches. Everyone is eating a sandwich or an empanada or alcapurrias. And then once you get to the afternoons, you have the like the tripleta trucks or the hot dog guy, which are phenomenal. They put ground beef and cheese, but like regular hot dogs, not like the sausage. Um,
Yeah, it's that very Caribbean because it's like that in I've been to Cuba and it's like that there too. I imagine República Dominicana, which I have not been to, but I
all
imagine
similar,
is
all similar.
yeah,
It's all very similar. We're all the same. That's why I name it Taínos because we ain't that much far from each other. We're all
that's right.
the same thing, just different spices. But
Islands away. That's it.
islands away. Yeah.
Well, okay. So, you know, you being one of the very few Puerto Rican restaurants in Los Angeles, I want to say there's two of you right now, right?
No, there's more.
There's more. Okay, there's you and there's Mofongos.
And there's
Who
like
else?
Azureiris, our brothers and sisters from Long Beach, and then our other
Where are
brothers and sisters.
Oh shoot, they just opened their
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
They're great.
yes, they're great people, great family. We know them
Oh
in the
my god.
Bay.
So I wrote about them too. I'm like, and here I'm forgetting them. Yes. I wrote about them when they were outside of the weed shop and then they moved to a brick and mortar recently.
And they're doing well. They're doing well. They're over there in Long Beach representing Puerto Rico.
They
Yeah,
are, they are, they are. I
every
love them.
day. Yes, they're amazing people. Senor Bigeds in Cyprus, I think. I every time my son has a baseball game, we stop get some Alcapurria support. We also have um Borinquen Borinquen in Lancaster. Very delicious, very
Oh
nice
my
people as
gosh.
well.
Well, you're schooling me here because I didn't I did know about Long Beach. I did not know about Lancaster
Very
or
delicious. You got
Cyprus.
to try that one. That is very good.
Okay, okay. Putting it on the list.
Yeah.
That's okay. So what are what? So that's what one, three, four,
And then
five.
you have, I don't know if he's still there, but the Smartsburg had a chef, a Puerto Rican chef there.
Right.
Oh, let's not forget we have Chef Vic Ramos. He does the Capicul parties. He also serves Puerto Rican food there. He's also delicious food as well. Um, there's more people than, and there's also, believe it or not, many people that are making from their homes coquitos, flanes.
Yes, there's that. There's that too. There's
Right.
definitely that. So wow. So it's a pretty vibrant. I mean, compared to a few years ago, it's a
Compared
pretty
to a few
vibrant
years
scene right now.
ago, yes, many people have been flocking over here. I definitely remember before COVID, not many, but I remember after COVID, so many people coming straight from Puerto Rico, not from New York. Usually, you stop at Ellis Island, New York, and you come here. No, they're coming straight from Puerto Rico, studying, young kids that are going to college out here, chasing their future. They're doing great things. Yeah.
I think Ilonka told me the way she put it was, "Hay mucho tigaraje in Nueva York."
Hay mucho tigaraje en Nueva York, eso es lo que está pasando.
So everybody, see, they're all getting out of there. You know Ilonka. So she's
Yeah,
like, yeah, they're all
she's
getting out of here. They're coming here.
yeah, a lot of people are coming over here. Florida's not the dream no more. Used to before it was like, oh, everything don't work out in New York, we go to Florida. Now everybody's like, everybody's in Florida. Where else we gotta go?
You're right. We got to get out. Got to find some space.
Yeah, if you go to New York, it's expensive over there. You might as well spend the save money over here for an extra bathroom. So
Yes.
yeah,
So, and this is happening at a time, um, when of course we just saw this monumental performance by Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl, and in San Francisco, which everybody's calling Bad Bunny Bowl, and it's just amazing the feeling that I think every Latino has, and just even beyond Latinos, everybody's obviously if you're the number one streaming artist in the world and you're getting that many views on social media, and that many viewers tuning in, there's a lot of people listening to Bad Bunny. But how has this raised the profile of Puerto Rican cuisine, and also the residency that just happened, and so the economy of Puerto Rico and Puerto Rican cuisine in general. How has this moment, this really Puerto Rican moment, which I feel like there's been so many Mexican moments over the years, and it's nice to see another Latino culture kind of get come to the forefront.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's impacted us in the food industry tremendously because believe it or not, people want to come try they now want to come try Puerto Rican food based off of things that he's said or commented or his favorite foods, something they seen. They literally
Right.
I've never I didn't know that was a thing. And people will come and say, "Hey, I need to try arroz con salchicha because Bad Bunny said he love arroz con salchicha." And I'm like, "We don't have arroz con salchicha on the menu today. I'm so sorry, but I'll consider putting it." Or people will come and say, Bad Bunny said he liked empanadillas of this or this, or they want to try different things that they claim that they heard and they want to try and be a part of the experience. I think it's great. Hey, if if music is what makes you get closer to a different culture, good for you. You are learning, you are
Right.
growing, you are experiencing. You know, but it has impacted us a lot when it comes to food, and also I think the world. I mean, for us Puerto Ricans, we are extremely proud because
Yeah.
and the Puerto Ricans from the States are different from the Puerto Ricans from Puerto Rico because they of course have different visions. They of course think
Sure.
they're all gonna of course attack you. But I think he's doing amazing and great things, and especially for Puerto Rico.
And the residency injected hundreds of millions of dollars into the Puerto Rican economy. What do you think about all that?
Where is it going? Is what I
Right.
wanna know. Where is it going? Are the people taken care of? Because from what I see in the news, it's every other day somebody's suffering because they can't stay there. So,
Right. I mean, ever since Hurricane Maria, um, it's been very difficult on the island. Have I mean, is anybody back home that feeling this effect of this moment? Uh, are there restaurants doing better?
so I'm not from from outside of the metropolitan area. I'm
Yeah.
from Trujillo Alto, so they actually cleaned up the metropolitan area pretty quickly because I got married there in 2018. The hurricane happened in 2017, and people that went there from the states, they were like, "A hurricane came through here a month ago?
Wow.
No way! It's impossible." Because Condado San Juan, beautiful. Of course, you had some things that they were still clearing out, but you did definitely couldn't tell the catastrophe that just happened because they cleaned up that space pretty quickly. So, of course, the uh, metropolitan area, especially the San Juan area, won't feel as much as everybody else is feeling because they need to keep that going because of tourism. So
Sure.
everybody outside, of course, probably are still suffering, especially in desolate areas. Power still goes up
Right.
all the time. You know,
Which was one of the themes of the Super Bowl, right?
correct.
The the light poles with calling attention to the fact that the power still goes out. So what's the one positive takeaway you think for you, um, after Bad Bunny's performance and the Grammy wins that you can be proud of?
Being able to tell his story, our story, right? Because he wasn't telling a story about his life, he was telling a story about our life. And me being raised there and going to school there and seeing what is going on, it's truly heartbreaking. When you see people talking about this and crying, I promise you they mean it. It's like Puerto Rico, it's like like it's a person, right? Like a god
Yeah.
or something that you just adore and love so much. And only if you've been there and lived in there and experienced it the way I've experienced and other people that live there experience it, then you have nothing to say. Everybody else that goes there falls in love immediately. But imagine those
Right.
that we have been there. We're born in this. We've been in love. We're very
Right.
proud for a reason. So to see it just be treated the way it's been treated as from 1898, it's almost kind of like the history repeats itself,
Right.
where it's like, we didn't exist. There's no use for us. Oh, yeah, there's a use now. Let's just go and do whatever we have to do. They made the life for the Puerto Rican person impossible to apply for anything. Anything you go to apply for and to do, it's impossible. And I'm telling you, I'm a witness of it because even when I got married over there with my husband, when I was to go do the paperwork, they kept on like a DMV situation. Bring me this, bring me that. When my husband went, first time, how you doing? It's it,
Right.
it's
So
ridiculous.
there's still discrimination.
Totally, very much so with your own peoples. And
It's
anybody else
crazy.
that comes outside and comes in to want to do anything, it makes it easy for them. It's sad that you go to Puerto Rico and to get some respect, you got to speak English. No, you're my brother and sister. Why can I speak with my accent to you and you treat me the same way as you treat everybody else? But that's how they're training you to think and to
Sure.
be, and it's not okay.
That is an aspect of colonization that even the local peoples resent themselves. Self-hate, you know.
It's
Um,
ridiculous. Even the
yeah.
way, Bill, they're even trying to change the way we speak. Our accent is something that I'm very proud of. And when I write on Instagram, I write like Hibara, like if you
Right.
read these books of Juan Bobo from Puerto Rico, the way they would write it, they wouldn't write it proper Spanish. They'll write it how you say it because that's how Juan Bobo spoke.
Right.
I like to write like that to remind people, not because I'm illiterate, I know how to write, but to remind people your accent belongs to you. We don't have to say entonces. We can say entonces because that's how we speak. That's entitled to us.
Well, you're allowed on this podcast. I know that earlier, I don't know if people caught when you said churaco.
Mira, I can say churrasco y puedo ponerme a hablar un poquito decente, pero yo no hablo así. Ese no es mi acento. Este es mi
No.
acento. Yo
Say it
quiero,
proper.
when I talk, I want you to know where I'm from
Yeah.
because of the accent.
Right.
And
And
every
again,
time we speak, we don't know where you're not going to know where I'm going to belong from. Soon, there will
yes,
be no
I
accent
want to
in
hear
Puerto
it.
Rico.
I want to hear it. So yeah, I mean, and again, we got to hear that on the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny, uh, bringing, showcasing that accent all along throughout all this last year. His just wonderful run. Um, so yes, I think he's telling, as you said, he told the story. He did it in a way that was informative and thankful to social media, all these wonderful influencers out there that have told different parts of the story and shared it to people, and people are learning more and more about the symbolism and what everything meant. But at the end, he pulled it together in such a positive way, a positive feeling and message that um, it was for even for the people that were subject to a history lesson they didn't want. They can't really they can't make the argument that they weren't entertained and given a spectacle.
You can relate, right? Even if you wasn't Puerto Rican, we're all the same but a little different. When you see that performance, when you see something like that, you're telling me you didn't como que asimilarte con eso and feel like, wow, yeah, I remember as a kid falling asleep on the chair during a wedding and running around and
Yeah,
playing and, you know, the piraguas, we all have piraguas, they're rapados.
right.
It's we all have that bar that it's a legendary bar that everybody, it's last one standing,
Yeah,
everybody still goes to that's representing the culture. It wasn't just only our story being told from Puerto Rico, which of course we deeply felt. I was crying, not because just the little things, like for example, la vestimenta, the clothing, it brought me to tears because it shows it was clothing that I remember growing up with seeing people with, and I thought it was really cool, and it brought tears to my eyes because it just brought me back to a place of humility, a place where
yeah,
clothing that was your best outfit, whatever you showed up with was your best outfit, and no one had nothing to say about it. It was great. Everybody looked great. It was nothing to criticize how things are nowadays. So everybody I feel like could relate to that moment and the story because as Latinos, we are a little different but very much more the same.
right. The one thing that you pointed out that moment that uh, he woke up the kid sleeping on the chairs, and that is something about Latino culture, Mexicanos, Puertorriqueños, Chilenos,
Duérmete
uh,
donde sea, pero no nos
Venezolanos.
vamos.
We don't leave our kids with a nanny. We bring them to the party, and they don't go home until we go home.
Exactly. You sleep wherever
Exactly.
and you'll be fine. Everybody watches them, they're good. They have a good time, and you sleep peacefully with all the noise and the music.
Oh yeah, you learn to sleep better. So when you finally get quiet, when you don't have brothers and sisters in your room and you don't have music on, you can,
Yes,
really get
absolutely.
some good rest.
Yeah.
Um, well, again, I hope that the Bad Bunny effect keeps on bringing people into your restaurant.
Yes.
Everybody needs to go to Tainos LA, Woodland Hills. It's one of the most Puerto Rican places right now in Los Angeles, so you got to get there. And I'm coming tomorrow, and I'm going to see you tomorrow, Thursday, and I can't wait.
Thank you. And you're always welcome to all my Latinos, brothers and sisters. You all are welcome here. Vengan a probar comida rica. Vengan a sentirse una vibra buena. Come get a good vibe. Come try good food. Come be around good peoples. Están bienvenidos.
Por favor, al probar.
Al probar. Así como dice tío, a veces él dice, cuando te da algo para probar, él te dice, esto es para probar, no es para jaltarse, pero I'm going to tell ya, esto es para jaltarse. You guys are going to get so full. Everybody comes in like this and leaves like this.
Okay, I can't
So
wait.
you get ready. And I got
Thank
your hot
you,
sauce.
Odessa.
Thank
You
you
for being
guys
on the
for
podcast.
having me. Thank you so much for having me, Bill.
And now joining me is my longtime friend, someone I admire greatly, and co-owner, co-founder of Little Libros. You should have these books, even if you don't have, Latino kids. You should have these books. Everybody should have these books. An incredible entrepreneur and the barometer of the city of Los Angeles. Hey, Patty, welcome to the show.
Bill, about time. About time that I'm here as a guest on your show. Thank you for having me. It's long
We talked
overdue.
about this a long time ago, but that was a different time.
Yes.
It's long
It's
overdue.
a different time, and now I think it's a perfect time right now to talk about the Bad Bunny show, among other things.
Yes, well, we wanted to talk. We wanted to talk when there was something positive, something joyous to talk about, and so I just spoke with Chef Odessa Rodriguez, also another Rodriguez from Tainos, LA, not
Mi
related,
tocaya.
but Tocaya, sí.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
about what it means for Puerto Ricans. But I know you saw Bad Bunny Ball, what, 100 times? Have you seen it 100 times yet?
Oh, like everyone, like all of us, you know.
Yeah.
And every single time you find something new, something more special. Every time you watch the Bad Bunny show.
It's full of Easter eggs. It's the most intricate,
Hmm.
elaborate, culturally deep show that's ever been in the Super Bowl for sure.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the collective work we all have been doing for the past 20, 30 years. Um, Culturally, a lot of us um, creators um, have been working behind the scenes to get noticed by the gatekeepers. Um, we're in these meetings, and we can go deeper in this. But we're in these meetings with data, with PowerPoint presentations, with uh, uh, rating numbers, with all these things to show our power behind the scenes. And I think this halftime show was just a collectiveness of that work that we have done in the last 20, 30, 40 years as just, young Latinos working behind the scenes in the industries that we're in.
Right. It's probably one of the greatest displays that we've seen. You and I have seen it come and go. It's like we prove ourselves with La
Hmm.
Bamba and Selena and Ricky Martin. We have all these moments where you see, okay, look at, so now can we
We're
participate?
here.
And then it disappears,
Yeah.
right? But Bad Bunny, his show, I think, encapsulated the whole thing on a whole other level. So I want to talk to you first about like what it meant for LA. We saw LA representation on that field, and I know you're aware and you're very close to all these different people. So can you tell us where we saw Los Angeles on the field?
We saw LA, I think, throughout the show. And you can definitely just identify that Bad Bunny wanted to ensure that the LA representation was front and center. And the most, the prime example was Victor from Villas Tacos, um, having him there, not just representing his restaurant and his business and the people behind Villas Tacos, but also representing the culinary art of street tacos, because we all know that's how Villas Tacos started, right?
Right.
Uh, before opening the restaurant. So I think that was very intentional of Bad Bunny, and for him to have been to for him to make that like one of the front and center aspects of his show. I think it's really moving for Angelinos. And I think it was really special. I think all of us, we watch, we're like, wait a minute. We
Right.
know that guy. Oh wait, we know those tacos. It was really really special. I'm excited for Victor.
There was a collective scream from LA.
A collective scream, absolutely, yes, it was beautiful. And then I know there was a lot of the wedding guests, a lot of them were from LA. You had a lot of LA folks holding a lot of the flags. I know I saw a kid from South LA. He was waving one of the flags, and it was really emotional. So I think it's really special that LA got a lot of love, and it just feels like it just feels like Bad Bunny understands that the greatest city for him in the states is, one of them is LA.
And you're right. It was at the beginning of the show, passing the
Hmm.
piragua to Victor, you know,
Yeah,
and that was like the opening,
so
like
sweet.
in the first minute, like that happened. It's so amazing. And
Hmm.
then, yeah, and I think something you're pointing out with all these characters, and you saw this on TikTok and Reels. Everybody's telling their story. I was the violin player. I was this dancer,
Yeah.
and going back to what I was saying earlier about like La Bamba, I feel like La Bamba was a great cultural moment for Mexican Americans, but like this is
Hmm.
the first time that some artist did something that everyone feels a part of, right? Everyone in the Latino community feels a part of.
I think it has been a very long time since collectively we have felt as one, and I think that's what we need more of. um Many times we get we allow our differences to get between us,
Right.
and when in reality we have more in common than we are different. And his show was an incredible intentional example of that feeling, of all of us collectively coming together in celebration, and sharing joy together. Um, and it's such a wonderful feeling, And I've been I've been spending like my time watching all these videos on TikTok of, you have not just in the States, but you have folks in like Mexico and other countries like
Right.
crying and saying, for the first time, I felt like we're one continent. We're one together, and I think that was I really feel that was his intention, and that's exactly what was the energy that we all felt, and it just feels so good. Like I feel like we're still riding on this high.
We are, because we can't stop. I mean, we can't stop playing these videos, and the one that's been hitting me a lot. And there was a lot of was the Lady Gaga segment, which was just beautiful. You know, it was the wedding
Hmm.
scene. Um, the way it was where the little kid who was asleep on the chairs got woken up to go home, which we know that's like that was such like that the Latino thing of
Like the universal.
right, because this is something about Latino culture. Our kids go to the party and they don't go home till we go home. We go home at 2 a.m. They go home at 2 a.m. We don't leave them with a nanny, you know?
Yeah, children is we're a multi-generational people. We and for him to have highlighted that. It was just really special, because I think what happens here in the States, the culture does a really good job at trying to disconnect us even from our own
Yeah.
families.
Yeah.
Um, but it's in our DNA, that, to being multi-generational. We are multi-generational homes. You have grandma, you have the parents, and then you have the kids all in one, under one roof. And I think for many years, I think part of the assimilation that we go through is to carry that shame of being all under one roof, when in reality it's the most special and the most beautiful way to coexist with family. um because it takes a village to be a human. And to show that, how many weddings do we go to where, like, it says no kids allowed, right? But in
Right.
our culture, kids are welcome, and they're very much part of celebration, and part of our lives. And it was just, it really, it just took us back to our own childhoods of just being with family. And I think for me as a mother, it just really reinforced my understanding, and valuing, spending more time with my children, as opposed to, I'm gonna just go to the grocery, by it's an example, I'm gonna just go to the grocery store by myself, and I'll let my kids stay home. But I remember going to the grocery store with my parents was a whole experience. Everybody would jump in the car, and everyone took part in the experience of buying groceries. Um, and I think, we're seeing this with Bad Bunny. It's like, okay, you know what? Let's go back to that. That's in our DNA. Let's go back. Let's let's make sure that our kids are part of this journey to get, with us as well.
Yeah, it was an amazing moment. And and did you see did you notice how Lady Gaga was also feeling the joy? I She seems so happy to be there and happy to be with him. And it was that was I was like, wow, I've never seen, her. She's one of those singers that has this stage presence and attitude, and she was very humbled to be part of that, it seems to me.
Absolutely. No, I think so. I think, I love that she immersed herself in this world.
Yeah.
She wasn't, she fully was immersed. And I love that her, the choices that she made in her dress. And I'm sure it was really intentional, having a Dominicano American design that dress.
Right.
um and uh her song, uh uh, being, changing it to salsa.
Yeah,
uh
beautiful
I
arrangement.
think it was beautiful. She immersed herself. It didn't feel forced. It felt very much, just part of this wonderful world that Bud Bunny created for us. I think it was fantastic.
I do too. And what are a few more of your highlights? I want to ask you about. Well, I want you give me one highlight, and then I want to kind of ask you, like, what does this whole thing mean now? This incredibly huge cultural moment for Latinos in the United States at during this time and going forward. So, give me a nice positive moment and message here for everybody, because obviously we do need to take this because we still are in this fight.
No, absolutely. And I think, how, you mentioned earlier that, there's many times in the last 30, 40 years where we have felt that we've arrived, and then the rug gets pulled from under us. Um, but I think this time is different. Um, you can't ignore the power of our culture, um, and the power that we have economically as well. um, we're a $4 trillion economic power in this country. um, So you definitely cannot ignore that. So I think that's why it makes this very different. The fact that Bad Bunny uh, chose to sing absolutely in Spanish, which is something that wouldn't have been able to be done even 5 years ago. Um, it just really shows the power. And I think what's next for us, taking this and moving forward with it, is just keeping our foot on the pedal and continuing um, living and creating our art in our authentic way, which a lot of us have been doing. um, and it's also um, the understanding that we don't need to one assimilate, and we don't need to change who we are to be be appealing to anyone else.
Yeah.
Um and there's still a lot of work, especially when it comes to other art forms. I think in music, our art is respected and very much valued. But I think in other industries, for example, in Hollywood, there's a lot of challenges that we're still facing.
Sure.
And what I would love to see is what's happening in music, also, in television and film, and also in other art forms, in other music genres as well. Expanding that world, not just within pop culture, but you know in other genres like classical music, the opera. I would love to see more of us in those spaces. And I think a lot of that has to do with access, and resources. And I do see a lot of folks in our community on the ground working to ensure that this new generation is exposed to this different type of fields. Because when you own the art, you own the narrative, and then you create the power, and you create the power within yourself. That's what it's all about empowering who you are individually. Because when you're empowered individually, then collectively you create the change that we have been fighting for. It's all connected. So I think that's what I want us to continue doing. Just uh, just unapologetically continue creating art. So yeah, I think it's wonderful.
It is wonderful. And, as the assimilation generation, me, Chicanosaurus, Generation X, Mexican American, we were forced to assimilate. We're all the guys with the American first names, the Bills, the Pete Lopez, Davy Hernandez, we did all that. And then they elected Trump twice. like, like that wasn't even worth it. It wasn't worth it to try to be part of it. So I love what I'm seeing right now with your company, with Bad Bunny, people out there unapologetically, as you say, being themselves, being their culture, and it's mainstream, right? Fourth largest
It's
viewership
mainstream.
in
It's
Super
always
Bowl
been
history.
mainstream.
It's always been mainstream. We are
And
mainstream.
look, here's the thing. We're going through a lot as a community collectively. Um,
Yes.
we're seeing just the cruelty on our screens. I don't think there's no one in our community who's not in some way affected personally by what's happening. But we have gone through so many things. Our ancestors, um, our parents, our grandparents who
Our grandparents,
sacrificed
yeah.
their lives to come to this country. We've seen it all, um, and we're gonna get through it. And we just can't lose hope. Like, that's the one thing. We're still here. Life always finds a way. Life is beautiful, and Bad Bunny show us a testament to that,
Yes.
to the beauty that we have within ourselves. Um, and it was we deserved that halftime show. We deserve that type of joy to happen to us, not just once in a blue moon, but constantly. And that only
Constantly.
happens when we continue supporting each other, continue supporting our art, whether it's music, whether it's food. Our wonderful restaurants that right now are just like hurting. That's an art form. That is an
That
art
is an art
form.
form.
And it's a beautiful art form that nourishes. So it's about supporting our art. That's it. That's all we must do. Support our art and continue fighting the good fight.
Absolutely. And so yeah, we want people go out in LA and go to your Latino owned restaurants and businesses and keep listening to Bad Bunny because, you know, right now he's got the ball.
Yes, he does. Keep listening to Bad Bunny. Keep listening to Latino artists of every genre. Even like, you know what? Even if you're like, this is not my type of music, give it a
That's me.
try. Like there was this wonderful video that I reshared on my Instagram, of this guy who's like, I insulted your music. I disliked your music, and you shut me up with this show. You shut me up with this halftime show. Now it's like mil respetos to you now.
Yeah.
Like you are the man. And I apologize a million times for having doubted you. And all art it's beautiful. Um and it's
Yeah.
just, you whether you understand the language or not, it's the frequency that we feel when it's being delivered to us. I'm just like riding high on this, and I wish it would have lasted 5 hours.
I, j- I know what you mean. So we just have to keep watching it on social media.
Yeah,
But
on our loop. Yeah.
so again, people, please pick up a copy of Order Little Libros books. Where can they get your books and where can they
Yeah.
find you on social media?
You can find all our wonderful books. We have published over 100 children's books in English and Spanish. You can find them at littlelibros.com. And please, every time you order a book, you're not just supporting a Latina owned business, you're also supporting a Latino artist, the person behind the book, the author, and the illustrator. We're just so intentional about the work that we do to ensure that this new generation grows up loving to read and grows up understanding how powerful they are.
Okay. And where can they find you on social media?
You can always find me at Patty Rodriguez on Instagram.
Okay, definitely. If you're not following Pati, you have to. Uh, she knows what's happening in the community at all times, and she's out there supporting Latinos and Latino-owned businesses all the time. And will we see a Bad Bunny book at Little Libros?
I think so. I mean, he has changed. He has changed history. He's an icon. He's a trailblazer. He's a first. So absolutely, it's in the works.
Okay,
you
okay.
you heard it here
You
first.
heard it here first.
You got an exclusive, Bill.
I
You got an
finally.
exclusive.
Okay, Pati, thank you for being on. Thank you so much. You're not only, again, you are an inspiration and a wonderful friend.
Bill, thank you. Love you. And I'll be here. I'll be back here soon, I'm sure.
Thank you for tuning in to the Taqueando podcast this week. And be sure to tune in next week for another episode. And please leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to your podcasts.